All right, if you just joined us, it's still Journalist Hangout. I still have Tony Waje right here with us. Kaide Linde is also right here with us. So straight to our next conversation. If you've been following Nigeria's political discourse lately, you've likely heard the buzz talks of a grand coalition that could reshape the country's political structure ahead of 2027. Now, what began as a quiet speculation is now generating full-blown debate across party lines, think tanks, and social media circles. Now, joining us via Zoom is Dr. Nicolas Felix, the 2023 youngest APC presidential aspirant. Dr. Nicolas Felix, thank you so much for joining us on Journalist Hangout.
Good to be here with you guys. Good evening.
And first of all, congratulations to you, on the honor bestowed on you for your outstanding contribution to humanity, by the governor of Connecticut. Congratulations to you, first of all.
Thank you very much.
All right. All right, then. So let's begin the conversation with your view on the chances of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, in mounting a credible challenge to the ruling party APC in 2027. Your view on that?
I don't know. First of all, good evening again, and thank you for inviting me. I don't know if I'll call the coalition credible. There's nothing credible about the coalition, considering the people who are who are in that coalition, the like of Rotimi Amechi, Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, Nasru Rufai. There's nothing credible about this gentleman. I'll start with Rotimi Amechi. I must tell you, I'm very disappointed in him because he was a minister in the past administration for 8 years. He has been a member of APC. And I know he has not recovered from the primary election since President Bola Ahmed Tinubu won the primary election. The likes of Rotimi Amechi are still not recovered from him. I don't know who gave him the hope that he was going to win that election. And since then, you could see he's been acting weird. And just 2 years into the administration, he jumped into another coalition. And now he's been running all over the place, saying he's hungry, Nigerians are hungry. First of all, that's a spite on the average Nigerian out there who is, who goes out there struggling, working hard to make ends meet. So the likes of him, we should not even, talk about him now. There are a lot we're going to keep. Campaign have not started. We're just responding softly to some of these media outpour. When it's time for campaign, we're going to roll their scorecard out. Are we talking about Nasir Rufai? I'm also very disappointed in him. Someone who has been a governor, you have been a minister, you are part of the founding members of APC. Just because you could not get the ministerial position, all of a sudden, APC is now one evil party. APC is so bad. Now you are fighting against the party. At first, I felt a little bit sympathetic with him, when he could not get a ministerial position. But I never thought or expected to go to the extent you are now fighting the same party you have been in, the same party you were a governor, the same party you've been laboring, you claim to have joined in forming. I don't think that is enough. Again, when time for campaign come, we are going to roll out his scorecard, what he did as a governor in Kaduna. We've not forgotten. Let him not think we are forgotten. When it's time for campaign, we're going to roll the scorecard. We're talking about Atiku Abubakar. I'm not the type who, as a pastor, I'm not the type who will tell you to give up. But I think Atiku needs to go and rest. It's enough for him. Atiku cannot be president of Nigeria. Whether you want to call it prophecy, wish, whatever, is enough. Atiku should go and rest. He cannot be president of Nigeria. Are we talking about Peter Obi? Peter Obi has no capacity. I'll tell you the truth. I thought he had some level of capacity. But after the 2023 general election, and seeing the way he's been handling Labour Party as the head of the party, as the presidential candidate of that party, as the one who brought life to the party, I thought he would be able to harness the results. They had some wins, like some rep, senator, one governor. And look at him right before his eyes. The party is falling apart. He could not, if you cannot manage little Labour Party, how are you going to manage this big nation called Nigeria? Okay. He has no capacity. So we cannot hand over this nation to somebody like him. So there's nothing credible about ADC. They have gathered right before our eyes, they are going to scatter.
All right, then.
Okay. Looking at the quality of persons that constitute the ADC at the moment, do you think the party is capable of presenting a clear policy roadmap to convince Nigerians that it is more than a vehicle for defections? Looking at the individual involved in the coalition, is it possible?
Yeah, that's why I said there's nobody credible there. Peter Obi already said he has left. Now I'm sure he's going to be left with Atiku and Rotimi. I don't know if Nasir El-Rufai is going to contest. But now, when you look at somebody like Rotimi, who cannot concede defeat, he was defeated woefully in the primary election. He could not get over it. Now, the primary election of APC was free, was credible, was transparent. I participated in it. I was right at Eagle Square. It was clear that this man won 1,271 delegates. You were the second runner. I mean, you were far down the line. I thought somebody like him would admit and say, oh, Nigerians really wanted you, and delegates wanted you. Now, he could not. How am I sure if they go through the same primaries again with ADC, probably himself and Atiku Abubakar, if they defeat him, what do you think is going to be the next? I'm sure he's not going to leave ADC, either go to PDP or join the Labour. So people like him, there's nothing credible. ADC is not even something to be worried about. We're not worried about it. Again, we just respond softly to some of these media. When it's time for campaign, I can guarantee you these guys will know where to be found. We are going to swallow them up. 2023 was a child's play. We are coming with full force. This is not 2027 is not 2023. You know, a lot of us during 2023 election, we were really attacked in the media. We were fought by so much people. We took it softly because we were not part of the Muhammadu Buhari administration. But this administration, with the reforms the president is introducing, and with what we see going on, we're not going to take it lightly. We are going to roll out the scorecard of Mr. President, and it's going to be war. We're going to, come out there, campaign. Okay. There's nothing. Again, like I said, we're going to roll out the scorecard. Amechi was transport minister for 8 years. He's going to tell us what he did. Nasir El-Rufai was governor for 8 years in Kaduna. We remember all the killings that took place under his watch. We're going to remind him. So, again, let the bell of campaign, the drum of campaign roll. We're going to be bringing down their scorecard.
Okay, so Dr. Felix, looking at the individuals involved in the coalition, someone will ask, is it about the interest of Nigeria and the Nigerian people, or is it about the interest of self and individual ambition ahead of 2027? And if I may add, is anything wrong in being ambitious? You know, these are people who want to become president. You remember the story of Amechi. He was first runner-up in the APC primary. Atiku was first runner-up in the general election. And Obi, like someone would say, that was the biggest showing you will ever think of from someone in that region. So is it wrong to be that ambitious?
Right now, Nigeria is in a complex state. We don't need people with ambitions to come and run Nigeria. Keep your ambition. Go and take your ambition somewhere else. We need men with capacity. A lot are going on with the system. What President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing is laying the foundation for the younger generation to build on. There are so much. The system has been corrupt. The system has been faulty. So we need men with foresight to come and change the system. Talking about ambition, we all have ambition. I have a vision to run for president. 2019, I ran. I was a candidate and I came third. I have a vision. But as far as ambition is concerned, we are keeping our ambition on hold. Why? There is a man on board who knows what to do. We can't have men who just think they are angry because they could not be minister. I'm sure if they had called Amechi to become Minister of Transportation, I'm sure he would have jumped on the boardwalk. I'm sure if they called Nasir El-Rufai, if he had scaled through, I'm sure he would not have left to go and join ADC. So you can see that what these men have is nothing but anger in them, not anger for the system, anger just because they could not get position. So there's nothing credible about them. There's nothing ambitious. We don't need nobody with ambitions. Keep your ambition. Go and begin a business. Start something somewhere else. We need men with capacity. And now we're privileged and lucky to have the president of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We need another 4 years of him to be able to finish the system. Understand that. Look at Lagos, for example. I was watching all that is going on in Lagos, the project going on. It's because there is a system that was set in place. Forgive me to say this. If you bring a governor who probably not very smart to Lagos, he will still succeed. You know why? Because the system was set. For example, you look at somebody like Peter Obi, he will tell you, when I was governor in Anambra, I did this, when I was governor. But there was no system. Anambra is not whatever you thought it was or whatever you did. Nothing was sustained. So we no longer need people who will say, I succeeded when I was governor. Where is the continuity? Lagos is excelling. Take a dumb person out to be governor, he will still excel. That's what you see in America. The system is set. Now, there is a system going on, restructuring going on. The new tax bill just went, adjustment signed. So much happening, it takes men with foresight to be able to see what the president is doing. Let me just throw this in. You see, I was going for an investment about 3 or 4 weeks ago to sign, with an oil company in Texas. After I've gone through back and forth with them, I sent the documents to my lawyer, one of my lawyers who is an expert in oil and gas. After he read through, he called me on the phone. I was shocked because during 2023 election, this was one of the people who were castigating us, fighting us. He said to me, why do you want to invest in this? Nigeria, what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing is great. Nigeria is the place to invest now. I took the phone off my ears. I wanted to make sure I'm talking to the same person. I was shocked. He was telling me, you need to go back to Nigeria and invest. This is going to happen. 3 days ago, he landed Nigeria for some investment. So people are seeing what he's doing. He told me, I've told my sons that a few years from now, Nigeria will be a place that investment will be thriving. He said to me, if you have money, do it now. These are what people are saying. So men without foresight, we don't need them right now in office.
All right, I like that. So let's talk about the economy, okay? Do you think President Bola Tinubu has done enough to secure re-election in 2027, or do you think a lot still needs to be done? The economy right now, the reforms, everything all together. Do you think President Bola Tinubu has done enough, or do you think there's still more that can still be done ahead of 2027 to secure a re-election?
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has done a lot. He's doing a lot, and he will keep doing a lot. Why do I say so? It's just 2 years. For example, there are so much, I have some stuff that I wrote down. There are too many. You can't get off many of them off your head. We're talking about the student loan, for example. I'm surprised that nobody is talking about the fact that over 600,000 students for the first time in our dear country can access loan. I knew what it took for me to go to school in Nigeria. I could just imagine when I was struggling to pay SS1 school fees that was just 300 naira in 1993. When I was struggling to pay school fees in SS2, I could just imagine if there was something like student loan. By the way, interest-free, over 104 billion. Nobody is talking about that. I can tell you, these 600,000 students and their family, they are going to vote for him. We talk about increase in government revenue. It has gone to this first quarter of 2025, 6 trillion already. We're talking about increase in oil production. Has gone to 1.6 million barrels per day. There are so much the president has done, so much going on that when the time comes, like I said, for campaign, we are going to be rolling the scorecard. Now, this is what is going on in Nigeria politics. Let me make it very clear so you understand. I've discovered politicians are so used to doing things that make it look like they are working. For example, when a politician comes with a bag of rice and share maybe 3 trailers of bag of rice, they will say he's working. He's doing well. But nobody sometimes appreciates leaders who are reformers, who change system. For example, you could take a hot plate of food right now and go to a university, maybe a cooler of rice, a trailer load of rice. You will be praised. You'll be celebrated. Why? This hot meal will quench your hunger. But guess what? The teachers who are teaching these students are never celebrated. The lecturers, the professors, they are never appreciated until the student graduates and they start working and seeing the benefit of the education. That's when you see them being appreciated. That's what's going on. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is changing the system. Men with foresight can see it. And when the time for election comes, this is what we are going to be telling those in the grassroots. We are going to sell the scorecard today. These people who have benefited from this reform, they are going to vote for him. Again, there's nothing really to be afraid because there's no viable candidate. If there were viable candidates, I think now we'll be shaking a little bit. None of them have said anything they want to do. Look at Amechi, people are hungry. Okay, if you become president, what are you going to do? subsidy was removed, all of you campaigned that you were going to remove subsidy. What would you have done? Not Atiku, not Peter Obi has been able to say, this is what I would have done and this is the result. It tells you this may not even know what they are saying. We have somebody on board who is capable, and we know 2027, I can tell you we're going to have more than 15 million votes.
Okay. All right, Tony wants to ask.
Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Nicholas. I'm still on the economy and the reform of the president so far. Nigerians are feeling are Nigerians feeling the impact? Or do you think Nigerians should be a little bit patient? And finally, please, when are you coming to join the, I mean, seeing you speaking on TV, it's obvious you're not in Nigeria. When are you going to come back and, help the president drive his renewed hope agenda?
Oh, I'm currently I'm speaking to you from Abuja. I'm speaking from my home office. I've been in Nigeria. I've been on ground. Like it makes everything beautiful in its time. But I can tell you, with or without appointment, we are going to join this president. We're going to join President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to run his administration, and we're going to join the campaign come 2027. We use our time and our resources. Now, we're already supporting the president. A lot are going on already. Nigeria's, yes. You see, reform takes time. It's just 2 years. A lot has happened. Nigeria did not go bad overnight. Some people would tell you it went bad from 1960. Some would tell you from 1980 during the military era. Some would tell you from 1999. Wherever you begin from, it took years, 20 years. Things have been going bad. No president have had the guts to remove subsidy. Now we have somebody who is changing the tide. Fuel price has gone down. It went to over 1,000 before. It's coming down gradually. That is getting stabilized. The economy is changing. Food prices are going down gradually. It's no longer the same way it used to be. I know politicians will want to take advantage of it. Bag of rice has come down. And by the way, Nigeria is not only about bag of rice. I notice anytime we're talking about food, it's also about rice, as if rice is the only thing in Nigeria. Food price is going down. But never forget, the economy is growing. The economy is boosting. Now, a lot are going on that, it's taking a while for it to get to the Nigeria people. But let me quickly say this. I heard Governor Wike, Minister Wike, former governor, he was talking about when he was governor, his monthly allocation was about 14 billion. Now there are some governors who receive over 100 billion. My God, when I heard that, that is over 100% increase. What we expect now for the governors to do more. Unfortunately, I can tell you most of these governors are not doing enough. Everything is not about the presidency. Because subsidy was removed, now we have a lot of savings. Now the local government, the state government are receiving more allocations. We expect them to even take the subsidy to their state. For example, do you know the governors we have what they call the National Union of Road Transport Workers. They can subsidize local transportation to villages. They are very organized. There are so much the governors can be doing at the local level. Everything is not about the presidency. A few days ago, you heard our president speaking to APC governors. He was challenging them to do more. I can tell you the governors are not, some are trying, they're doing their best, but the governors are not doing more, considering the fact that a lot has been given to them. More money has been allocated to them. But gradually, the president never, you hear him speak, nobody ever said the people are not feeling the impact. We know things are painful, but the pain is reducing. Things are getting better. People who sell products who are in the market can testify that things are gradually, will it come down overnight? We're not going to be, yes, we know it's politics, but we're not going to tell you things are going to jump overnight. But we can see that things are changing. And we know, going forward, it's going to keep getting better. What is important here is we have a man with foresight who knows what he's doing. Yeah. And we must make sure 2027 is elected. So at least 8 years, we'll give him 8 years to finish what he has started.
Okay. Dr. Felix, let's talk directly about party politics now. Just yesterday, APC has gotten a new chairman, talking about Professor Nentawari. And someone will ask that, what is his pedigree for a party with 23 governors, for a party that is a ruling party? Do you foresee you know, some kind of progress that is expected?
Again, when we talk about reforms, when we talk about changing the system, here comes a 59-year-old, for example, which people, youth, I'll call him, yesterday when I heard it, I said this is advanced youth. For the first time, we have a young man as the head of our party. Again, you come back to the fact that, like you said, he has not been a governor. We need to change the system. We've had governors there. We have former ministers, former senators there. Now, when we're talking about changing the system, this is exactly what we're talking about. Apart from the fact that he's a Christian, which I'm sure the Christians in the North, especially those who have been clamoring for Christian, to come on board, which, by the way, we have so many of them now. So I'm excited that we have a young man on board, 59-year-old. I don't see him as an old man. Somebody that will bridge the gap between the youth, the older generation, and the younger generation, which, by the way, is what President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is doing. Is bringing the old and the new together. We have not seen that in politics. Look at the cabinet, young people on board. Look at heads of agencies, young men on board. And I can tell you, 2027, when it's done, 2031, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is going to be that president who is going to hand over to a younger generation. I know this for a fact. I've said it repeatedly. And I want everyone watching me, especially if you're a young man, young woman, the youth out there, go and listen to the speech given by the president, then elected president, when he accepted the certificate of return. I was right there. That speech got me. I remember every word he spoke, and I believe it. This is that president that is balancing the old and the younger generation. So the idea of it must be a former governor before he can perform. It must be a former senator before he can perform. We need to change it. We have somebody who I believe is going to do excellently well. Yesterday, I listened to him on China's television during the interview. I can tell you we are very expectant, and we know the best is yet to come for our party.
All right. You were the youngest presidential aspirant in 2023 under the APC. Now, when you look through your crystal ball, will young Nigerians participate as actively, as they did in 2023? And do you think they would be able to do such in 2027?
Oh, yes. In our party, the youth are on fire. Like I said, he's out there. Young people on board. Look at the Minister of Youth, a young man. We have so much youth who have been carried along. Understand, the past 2 years has been for governance. The past 2 years has not been for politicking. That's why people like me, the last time I was on TV was even on your show almost 1 year ago. I get called all the time. I said, no, this is not time for us to be playing politics. Governance is going on. Let's focus on governance. Like I said, when it's time for campaign, the youth are going to vote. There's this notion people are, putting out there that Labour Party got a lot of youth vote. That's not true. The only reason Labour Party got that amount of vote was because of the church. Okay. Christians voted because of the fear of Muslim ticket. Some of us who are pastors, we tried our best to counter that. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not he's not trying to Islamize Nigeria. Now we don't need to preach it because it's obvious. Okay. Christians are all, the affairs of governance.
All right.
No Christian has been persecuted. The church eyes have opened. I've spoken to some top pastors. They are pleased with him.
All right, thank you.
Come 2027, I don't think Labour Party will even get 1 million votes. So
all right.
The fact that he got that amount of votes, it's not necessarily the youth are there. The youth are in APC, and 2027, we are going to campaign for our president.
All right, then. Thank you very much. We've been speaking with the 2023 youngest APC presidential aspirant, Dr. Nicolas Felix. Congratulations once again. Now we now have Dr. Nicolas Felix Day in Connecticut, US. Congratulations to you. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us on Journalist Hangout. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So there you have it, Dr. Nicolas Felix, talking about Nigeria 2027, youth participation, the economic reforms of the president. Beautiful conversation. But anyway, Tony Nwaje, thank you so much for having this conversation with us. Thank you so much for coming to the studio.
Thank you so much.
And Kaidi Ladende, as always.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much for doing this with us. This beautiful, weekend starter Friday. And that's all on Journalist Hangouts today. You can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11. Join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We're on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Benga All right, Shagun, bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.